Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Dear Mama, You Got This, your safe place for talking about all things motherhood, the good side, the fun side, the messy side, the side that made me go, did I make the right decision? All of the above. So do me a favor, go find your favorite corner, your favorite chair. Maybe you're in your room or in your office, wherever you get comfortable at. Grab your favorite drink, whatever that may be. Hey, we listen and we don't judge. And then grab your some paper for some notes as we sit down and dive into today's topic, which is all about postpartum. Please help me welcome my guest, Miss Jennifer Williams, to the scene. She is here, she is educated, and she is ready. Okay? Miss Jennifer, thank you so much. Welcome.
Hey, hi. I am excited to be here today.
I am excited too. You are my second official interview for my new baby.
Yes.
And so I'm very, very happy for what I believe is going to be a very impactful podcast for just for moms
Yes.
and all that comes along with motherhood.
Yeah.
And motherhood can be I say it's the best group to be a part of, but it is definitely my hardest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
It's hard. Yes. Every day.
Prepared since I became one. Hello. But let me get started by first reading your bio. I think that would be most beneficial so that our viewers and listeners can know that you come with some letters behind your name, that you're not new to this. You've been doing this for a while and you know exactly what you're talking about. So let me begin by reading Miss Jennifer C. Williams is the owner of Pasco Therapy and Coaching. She's a licensed psychotherapist, certified prenatal mental health specialist, trauma treatment specialist, certified retained parental life coach, relationship coach, parenting coach, and she is a writer. She's a seasoned therapist with over 2 decades of experience in the mental health field. Her journey has given her the opportunity to work with a diverse population that includes children, adolescents, adults, couples, and families. Jennifer is a well rounded expert in the mental health field. She is passionate about helping her clients reach an optimal level of wellness and happiness in their own lives while also having healthy relationships with people around them. In addition to her clinical work, Jennifer is a respected voice in parenting and the mental health community. She has contributed her expertise to renowned publications like Parents Magazine, the Huffington Post, the Pensea, I might pronounce them wrong, forgive me, Voice, and the Capital Gazette. Beyond her professional role, she's a devoted wife and mother to 2 vibrant young boys. An avid enthusiast of CrossFit, hot yoga, and prioritizing self-care and embodying the balance she advocates for her clients in her practice. Her approach to mental health and her personal commitment to wellness make her an invaluable resource to anyone looking to enrich their relationships and their overall well-being. Again, I want to say welcome and thank you so much for being part of this podcast.
Yes, you are very welcome.
So let's hop right into it. I feel like postpartum, and I'll start by sharing postpartum hit me very hard. One, I didn't know. First of all, I thought that I was not going to have postpartum, that I was, what's the word? Not that I thought I was above it, but because of my faith, I felt
Hmm.
like that won't be an issue for me. Like I'm just like I prayed for this and I wanted this to happen and God answered my prayer. And so I never, even when my doctor gave me information, like, oh, I don't need that. Kind of like
Yes.
tossed it. And people say, be mindful. And I was like, no, I don't need that. It was
Uh-huh.
actually my mom who said, I think something might be going on.
Mm.
And I was like, no. And I was upset and I was very offended. And then my mom, in her level of concern for me, she called my sister.
Okay.
And cause I was like, I can't believe mom, because they're really mad. I can't believe mom called you. So with that, I think my first question is, what is postpartum? Like, what you hear postpartum or you hear postpartum blues or new mommy blues? What is it?
Yes. Yes. We have to, you have to be very mindful that there's different phases of postpartum,
Okay.
right? We have postpartum, we have the baby blues, which affects mostly 75 to 85%, probably 90% of women will go through the baby blues. After you have a baby, your hormones changes, everything is up, down. You might feel a certain way about breastfeeding, whether you want to, you don't want to, your body changes, your boobs get
Wow.
big. Like there's all these changes, right? So right after you have the baby, you're going through this phase, so you might feel down. You don't feel like yourself. And so you might find you're struggling to sleep. And so those are usually the baby blues where you notice that change, or your partner might notice a change, or your family member just might notice you feel down like a couple days after having the baby and you still feel down. So, and that lasts about two to 3 weeks, usually a 2 week time period. The baby blues come in, but then after that, you might start to feel a little bit better. So you're able to get up. So you're able to engage more. You're starting to get a sense of normal back. Those are the baby blues.
Okay.
Now, when we talk about postpartum depression, we're talking about it keeps going. So even after that 2 week time period, it could be 1 month. Most of us go back to our OBGYN on our 6 week visit. You might start, you have those feelings that stay with
Mhm.
you. So they might give you the perinatal mental health screening questionnaire, and that might screen for how are you feeling during that time? Do you notice yourself feeling down? Are you feeling low? Do you feel like you want to get up? Do you feel angry, frustrated, irritable? All these things that are coming in. And it doesn't go away. It stays there.
Mhm.
So every day we're feeling like this. You're crying out of nowhere. You might be yelling. You're yelling at your partner. Nothing feels right. You feel like you're not connecting with the baby. You feel like there's this baby here, but that emotional connection might not be there. You feel like there's a baby. I'm supposed to be excited and love and care and squeeze it, but I just want it to get away. I just want to sleep. I don't want to
Wow.
do these things. So as it goes on, that's postpartum depression. It can last for the first 2 to 3 years, right? So it does not mean 6 months and I'm done. It's not a year and I'm done. No, my youngest, he's two, right? So I could still be in that phase where I'm feeling, okay, I'm feeling that depressive symptoms, which can also be postpartum depression.
Wow. I did not know it could be 2 years. I didn't know. So let's break it down a little bit more. So if I'm coming home and I feel overwhelmed. I feel very anxious. I
Mhm.
feel very nervous. Like this is my very first baby. So when I had my son, I was 44. He is my one and only. God bless him, but I only did it one time.
Okay.
I applaud the moms who have more than one baby, but this one right here will only have one. And so I come home and I'm excited. Like I'm excited about his arrival, and I'm excited, but I'm also overwhelmed. I'm
Yeah.
also feeling very nervous. Like, am I going to drop him? Am I giving him the right formula? Is that too much formula? Did I hit him too hard when I birthed him? Is
Right.
that blues or postpartum, or is that just normal? Like, what's considered normal new mommy worries, and what's that fine line that says no, this might be a little bit more than normal?
Right, right. And I always think, that there is that normal level of anxiety. So along with postpartum depression, there's also postpartum anxiety. So you might feel like, oh, am I doing this okay? Right. So you're worried if I drop him, is the bath water too hot? Did I feed him enough? Is he hungry, sleepy? Do I have to change him? Constantly worried. Normal, right? To be like, okay, I'm worried about how am I taking care of another human being, whether it's your first, your second, your third, you might feel like, okay, am I doing this correct?
Gotcha.
So when we look at, is it more than just your normal levels of depression or your normal levels of anxiety? I like to go to, is it affecting your level of functioning? So when we look at postpartum depression, okay, are you able to say, okay, I'm worried about this. I don't want to get up, but I'm able to get up. Are you able to still function? Are you able to say, okay, let me go back to me. Can I regulate my own emotions? With the anxiety, the worries, are they constant, or do you have a thought and it moves? You can move on.
Gotcha.
Right? So it doesn't stay there all day. You don't spiral down to the worst possible thing. You don't worry about, okay, now this is going to happen. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. You're able to say, okay, I have this thought. I might say it out loud. I might tell my support system, and then I'm able to keep going, which is normal. Now, if the anxiety stays there, if you feel like, is it rational? Does it become irrational form of anxiety? Is it become a lot of just worries that are just coming in your head that you can't sleep at all? That you're struggling to eat, you're struggling to go out, you don't want to leave the baby because you're afraid something might happen. You're afraid if you put the baby down, something might happen. can't sleep. Then you might look at, okay, this is more than just the normal levels of anxiety.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Does it does in your level of expertise, does it favor one population? Like, does African American moms having more than Caucasian moms? Do single parents, single moms having more than coupled or married moms? Like, is does that type of things environment, like if I'm more of a middle class, upper middle class wealthy, am I more prone to be okay than somebody who may be in the lower or lower middle class or lower class?
Right. Right. Well, I want to look at postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety affects 1 in 5 women. So about 25% of women are going to have that. So you also want to think, I don't want to feel like anybody's immune to it. So just
Okay.
because you are, you might have a higher socioeconomic status or you have a lot of supports, right? It doesn't mean that it won't happen, but it is more likely you will see it in women who have lower socioeconomic status, women who don't have support, if you don't have a lot of support around. So maybe, single mothers or mothers that are in abusive relationships, people who feel like their partner is not with them on the journey, then they may be more likely to have a higher level of depression, anxiety during that postpartum, or maybe even during pregnancy and then the time after. So it might be something that they've had previously before that they didn't pay attention to, but now comes up more. It's more intense.
Mm.
So, it can affect any woman, but it can come up more in African American women, Hispanic women, women of lower socioeconomic status. So you really want to pay attention to what is this. So I don't want anybody to feel like, oh, it can't be me because it can.
And I felt like that. Like, but mine was based upon faith. Like mine was more of a, no, God got me. I don't have those. And for when I experienced mine, I cried at everything. If the sun shined too bright in my eye, I cried. If I was thirsty and I couldn't get the water fast enough, I cried. Like I was crying, and mine for me, I think was triggered because I had a very, I never want to say I had a bad pregnancy, but I had a very hard pregnancy.
Huh?
So I had morning sickness, which they should never ever call it that because I had it all day, every day.
Okay.
So I don't know who created the term morning sickness, but
Yes.
they should be fired.
Yes.
I digress. I'm back. Okay. I'm
Oh,
listening. 'Cause I
okay.
had it, one, I didn't know you can get it all day. I did not know
Uh-huh.
that. And I did not know that, and like it was time where even water made me like I was in the hospital for my C-section and was still throwing up. Like I literally had it
Yes.
my entire pregnancy.
Uh-huh.
And then I was considered high risk. So I had towards the end, I felt like my doctor and I was my first man. I saw this man every single week. And
Uh-huh.
what should have been like a 15-minute appointment would be like 3 hours. My son was like, do not put me on a monitor. I will not be monitored by you people. And so they would put me on a monitor and literally he'd be like, so
So,
what should have been like a 20-minute, 30-minute appointment would be like 3, 4 hours. So by the time I had my son, I was exhausted from all of that. And
yes.
then I caught pneumonia
Uh-huh.
when I was in the hospital. Did not know. I came home and had to go back like 5 days later and actually almost died. I had 90% on one lung, 70% on the other lung. Doctor
Oh,
was like, how are you still breathing on your own?
yeah.
And I'm thinking like, I just want my baby. And so in that, you hear breastfeed, 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 breastfeed. You reach
Uh-huh.
breastfeed. And so my son did not take to me
Yeah.
easily. I'm
Right.
I'm very heavily blessed in that area. And so
Uh-huh.
I thought this should be easy because clearly God gave me big boots to breastfeed. And it was
Right.
not. By the time I went to the hospital, we had just got to our routine. And it
Uh,
was like 3 ounces. I was like, yeah. And then because I had it, so I had the pneumonia so bad, they were pumping me full of steroids, like
uh,
around the clock. So I couldn't use the milk. By the time I came home, I was barely getting an ounce. And
uh,
so now I feel like I'm a horrible mom.
right.
Now I can't do what every pamphlet, book, website,
Right.
article says. Now I'm unfit because now I can't give my child what he needs, which is breast milk.
Right.
I felt like those things contributed to
Yes.
it. And I didn't want to say something's wrong because I didn't want people to judge me. Do you think
Right.
that there's a level of judgment when it comes to postpartum? Like people think that it's made up or that it's not real, or do you feel like that's an issue that your clients say like people don't think like nothing's wrong with me?
Right, but it's always, not that other people don't see it, we don't see it,
Okay.
right? So as new moms, you feel like, "Oh, yeah, I'm supposed to do this. So
Mhm.
it's supposed to happen." Even with breastfeeding, it becomes like, "Oh, yeah, like, I'm supposed to nourish my body." So if you can't do it, you start to get those internal feelings about it.
Absolutely.
So to say, "Oh, I have postpartum depression," it's very taboo, or postpartum anxiety. It's not talked about enough because it does affect so many women across the board that it's like, "No, I can't do this." And so even if you have, you're more likely to experience it if you do have a traumatic birth experience.
Okay.
So anything with trauma with that birth, if you have to have an emergency C-section, you go through having a hard time. If you're in an extended labor, right, then your body is worn out. You're tired. That wasn't the birth experience that you had planned for yourself.
Hmm.
So after that, as you're recovering, you're trying to get your body back, the hormones are going, and you're feeling, am I doing this right? Am I a good mom? Now I'm a mom. Can I be a good mom? And so we put a lot of pressure on ourselves
Hmm.
that causes that mood change, our mood to change.
Yeah, I remember when I met my therapist. She was like, "You gave birth to a human. Take a
Yes.
moment."
Yeah.
She was like, "They cut you layers. Take a moment."
Right. You had
And
major
I was
purpose.
just like, "I don't understand what's going on now," And because you have so many like for the mom that's watching this, right? And you're
Uh-huh.
literally sitting there and you're even now you're crying because you just feel like you want to be the best mom. Like you don't want to repeat the mistakes that maybe your mom did with you. So that's pressure,
Right.
right? And
Right.
then if you have more than one, it's like, well, how much should this one don't feel neglected? How much of this one feels
Right.
loved? So you have all these emotions. What can we do practical to help navigate all of the pressure that we put on ourselves when
Yeah.
it comes to that?
Yeah. And so we want to start by allowing yourself moments to give yourself grace. Right. So allow yourself this moment to give yourself some grace and say, okay, I have an idea of what I'm supposed to be as a mom, but reality, I'm feeling like shit right now.
Yes.
My body, you're cut open. You had major surgery, right? And the United States, they expect you to go back to work 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks after. It's like, no, no, no. Like, no, who does that? Like, no, you gave birth to a person
Yeah.
through in your body for 9 months. Allowing yourself grace, allowing yourself space, like using your village. So even before the birth, it's like, how am I setting up like support? How am I setting up my village? Who's going to be there? Who's checking on me after this baby is born? Who can say, hey, you know what? You need to sleep. I'm going to come over. You don't even have to ask. They just know they're going to come over. They're going to watch the baby. They're going to do laundry. They're going to wash dishes. They're bringing you food. One of the best things, my cousin, she bought food after, like just food for me, my husband, my son. Like, you just need all of that already there.
Mhm.
You shouldn't be expected to do it by yourself.
Wow. I think that's that part right there. So to the mother that's married
Mhm.
or has a partner, should the partner look for? Like what changes in the mom that maybe the mom doesn't necessarily see it because the mom is an autopilot. Like I feel like I was
Right.
an autopilot. So I'm just moving, moving, moving. So as the partner or the spouse, what should I be looking for?
So for the partner, you may want to look for, but also know that it's normal because she just gave birth.
Mhm.
Just that bonding. So you want to check in on her affect, frequent crying, is it anger, irritability, frustration? Does she need something that she feels like she can't verbalize to you? What does she need extra support? Does she feel like she doesn't want to get up? Does she not want to touch the baby or stay away from the baby? Does she really avoid the baby because the anxiety is just too much?
Wow.
So even if you see that, you see her not wanting to get up to feed the baby, to not have contact with the baby, then say, "Okay,
Absolutely.
what do you need? What can I help you with? How can I support you through this?"
And that kind of leads into my next question. What ways can they support? Because sometimes they feel just as helpless. Like, what do I do? I don't want to say the wrong thing. I don't want to add to the stress that the mom is already feeling. What can that person, whoever that person may be that's supporting that new mom or that mom, what can they do?
Right. But I also want to point out that the non-birthing person can also experience postpartum depression and anxiety too. So it is very, very possible that they're going through their own stuff
Oh, I
too.
knew that.
Yes, yes, yes. Non-birthing people do experience postpartum. Yes, and yes. So research shows that 1 in 10 men, 1 in 10 fathers do experience postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety.
Wow. You don't ever hear that.
You don't.
Literally, this is the first time I've ever heard, even with all of the packages that Kaiser gave me,
Yeah.
this is the first time I've ever heard that the non-birthing parent could experience. I never knew that.
Yeah.
That's wild to me.
Yes. So we don't want to forget about that because the non-birthing parent is also going through a transition here. They're also losing sleep. They're worried, having anxiety, how to manage this. The stress is there. Hormone levels do change. Also. Yeah.
Really amazed right now. So I have never like that's that's crazy to me. I've never and when I remember when I was in the hospital and I had given birth to my son, the doctors they kept addressing me, right? Like although
Right.
my husband was right there beside me, I'm like, well, ask my husband. Like I want you to include him in this process because mama tired. So
Right.
he can answer all these questions. He can answer them. Like I have to keep reminding them. So it's just like another way that we tend to forget about the partner or the spouse, or
Right.
the loved one. Like, wait, I that's absolutely mind boggling because you never ever hear that men can have postpartum. You never
Right.
hear that.
Right.
What type of lifestyle changes, nutrition, if that's a factor in it, self care practice can help someone who's currently in it and someone who was once in it but now is out not to go back?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely nutrition, getting the vitamins, still taking the prenatal vitamins. I took my prenatal vitamins all the way up to 2 years after giving birth, so you still take those even after you give birth. You still get those nutrients, right? You still get the DHA, the omega 3s, get them in your system. And continuing to really pay attention to what you need. So I always tell my clients, ask yourself, what do you need right now?
Mhm.
What is it? And you want to start during pregnancy. Start getting in a habit of asking yourself what you need. How am I getting space? Because that's going to come in handy after you give birth. So either it's if you work out, taking a walk, right? So even if you take a walk with the baby. You have songs that you like to listen to. You journal, you write down just your experience, how you're feeling in the moment. But making sure that you're always having time to pay attention to you. So when you ask about, okay, the non-birthing person, what can they do? They can give you time so you can pay attention to you,
Absolutely.
right? So time for you to
Absolutely.
take a shower. Time for me to just sit in the bath and I'm okay. Time for me to know if the baby's crying that you're going to go get the baby.
Absolutely.
So really asking yourself, what do I need? How do I pay attention to that? And then writing it down before you give birth so your partner is aware, okay, these
Mm.
are the things that you need so they can be ready for it.
I like the idea of doing it before you
Yeah.
have the baby because once you have it, you literally go on autopilot. Like I tell
Right.
people, I have been on since April 19th. Like he came out and it was like, "Mommy, tag, you're it." And
Right.
was why I take my hat off to people who have more than one because I'm just like, I don't know how you, I don't know how you do it. This mama's exhausted.
You're
My
right.
little 10-month-old, who only 10 months, but I think he grown. But he's 10 months, so now he's in this active state where he wants to. I call it the crab walk because like one leg is walking and one leg is crawling, and so
Uh-huh.
so now he's into everything, and he doesn't want mommy to hold him until he's sleeping.
Right.
And so I still want the little cute little newborn, and we're beyond that stage.
Uh-huh.
But at the same time, I want him to be independent. I want him to
Yes.
so I think that having that time before, like discussing, because my husband, if I'm honest, my husband and I did not talk about postpartum at all.
Right.
And to
Right.
know my history, I battled depression and suicide as a child and in my earlier early adult years, to 4-time survivor of suicide attempts. And so that should have been a red flag. Is that a red flag? Is that something that someone who has previous mental health issues or concerns, should they be like, well, maybe, because you know what? And it's funny because when my doctor asked me, but I said, oh, yeah, but I'm past that.
Right, right, right.
Okay.
It's gone.
Yeah. And so when it hit me, it like boom, like it hit. And I was
Right.
like, and I never wanted to cause harm to my son, but it
Huh?
was more like, I don't want to be here. This is too
Right,
much for me. This is I'm not good enough. I'm not doing a good
right.
job. It was all of those kind of thoughts, kind of along the lines of me being I felt like I went back. This is what I told my therapist. I said I went back to being that 20-year old who was insecure and
Mhm.
didn't know who she was and couldn't tell you. And I'm thinking like, no, I'm beyond that. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. I know who I am. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a grad student. I'm this, and this. But the moment I became a mom, all of those insecurities that I thought I had dealt with came right back. And
Right.
so is that normal? Like, if that people who have those type of experiences should be kind of like, hey babe or hey boo, just so you know, or at least have it documented in
Yeah.
their chart.
Yes. Yes, 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 because one of the biggest predictors of future suicide is past attempts of suicide. So that's for anybody across the board. So it's going to, it increases, when you're in postpartum, you're going through a lot of hormonal changes. Right. So that is something you really want to make your doctor, your OB aware of. You make sure you tell your partner, you tell your support system, like, hey, I struggled with this in the past. So please check in on me, watch out for me, because that depression is real and it will come swooping back in and you won't even know. It's all of a sudden like you're just having these thoughts and the uncontrollable thoughts
Hmm.
that you have postpartum. It's scary, and it's scary for a lot of moms because they don't wanna hurt themselves.
And it's very much like I don't want to tell anybody. There's such a level of shame, I guess, or
Yeah.
guilt behind those feelings. So I'm having these thoughts. I know they're not right, but I'm afraid of what people may think of me for having them. So I don't share.
Right.
I don't tell anybody. So,
Right.
but to that mom who's sitting right now and she might have caught this by chance, what would you say to her or him or the dad that's feeling this
Yeah.
level of shame or guilt that they have these feelings? What would you say to them?
Right. Say it. Say it out loud. Right. So tell that person you trust. It doesn't mean that you need to go to the hospital or anybody's going to take your baby away from you. Because a lot of parents, a lot of moms don't like to say it because they're like, if I say this, they're going to take my baby. Right. So even 1% of women struggle with postpartum psychosis. So even if you have postpartum psychosis and you feel like, okay, I might have thoughts of wanting to hurt the baby, can I say this out loud? Right. And if rather you say it, just say it, don't keep it inside, because if you say it, then you can get what you need, because then it goes to, what do you need right now? How can we support you? Maybe you need more sleep. Maybe you need time for yourself because there's just so much going on that you haven't had a minute that you could sit down and take a shower. You haven't had a minute where you just go outside and be away and not feel like everything is on you.
Absolutely.
Really, it's the shame and it's scary, but it's also, who do I trust with this information right now? Because I want to trust somebody to hold it and to check in on me and know this is what I need. So if I have these thoughts, what do I need? And even that is something you start during pregnancy. During pregnancy, you're letting people know, or even creating a safety plan if you feel like I need that for you to know what to do.
Absolutely. Well, in our final seconds for this segment, what would be your final impartation to the moms that's watching this, or to the moms who may see this weeks from now? What would be your final impartation to them?
Yes, if you want to enjoy motherhood, it's beautiful. It is beautiful. It is great. But sometimes we have to release that pressure from ourselves. So it's okay to say, I need help. I
Yeah.
can't do it all. I'm struggling right now. It is okay whether you just gave birth, you had a baby three months ago, your baby's turning 1, 5, 7. It's hard. It's a struggle every step of the way. It's beautiful. I
All of
love
the above. It's all of the above.
it's all of the above. I tell you, I love being a mom, but sometimes I don't want to be a mom. I don't want to be mommy.
say that. I said, I don't want to be a mom. I just want to be Trinice.
Yes, yes,
I
yes.
feel so validated right there. Oh my God.
Yes, so really just don't be afraid to take care of yourself.
Yeah,
Self-care is never selfish. So please don't be afraid. If I do this for me, I'm feeling guilty. Don't be afraid to take care of you.
absolutely. Absolutely. I want to just take a moment to say thank you, thank you, thank you. I
Yes.
learned, and here I think I got this postpartum thing that I learned so much in this 30 something minutes because, again, it's just things that aren't normally shared that you just don't know or you don't know to ask. And so I want to just thank you for coming on and giving us your expertise and taking time to help me. Look, to help me, the host who's still navigating this whole look, I'm a newbie, I'm a rookie, I'm new at this thing. I'm not even a year in yet, but I'm getting close to my 1 year. I'm not even a year in yet, but I'm getting there. So I want to say thank you for that. To all of the moms that are watching, listen, you got this. Whether you are a mom who's carrying, whether you are a mom who just gave birth, or you are a mom who's been momming for years, whatever your role is, wherever you fall in a thing called motherhood, we want you to know that you are doing a hell of a good job. And if
Yeah.
nobody told you today, you absolutely rock. I don't care if you put the wrong shoe on, if you put the wrong sock on, if you missed the lunch bags, whatever didn't go right, you still killed it today. You did an amazing job at being a mom. And nobody can be a mom to your children better than you are. You have been uniquely created to do the title of mom for your babies, and you are doing phenomenal. So, if you have not already, please subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Follow us on social media. We are on Instagram, Mommies Matter Too. We have a private Facebook group, and the reason why I made it private is I wanted to be a safe space for moms. I want to be able to come in and say, I'm not feeling the best today and not be judged. I want you to come in and be able to say, today was a bad day or today was a hard day. And your mother, your sisterhood of mothers, we pour into you and celebrate you. So that group is private and it's called Dear Mama, you got this. That's the private group name on Facebook. Also, we're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. And I think that's all. Well, if it ain't, it's in the caption down below, so you'll see it. We're on all local podcast, audio, and YouTube visual for those video. I have put all of Jennifer's contact information on her website, her Instagram, her business Instagram. All of that information has been put on the screen with the links. All you do is click, 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 click. I'm sure she's. Are you taking new clients?
Yes, I take new clients, I take couples. So definitely couples, individuals, reach out, please.
Absolutely. There are people here to help. And for my sisters, you know what I'm talking about. There are a lot of us that are here to help if you feel more comfortable doing it that way. So don't feel like you have nobody in your corner. I started this podcast because I felt like I was in it by myself. Because all of my friends who have kids are either in middle school, high school, or they're empty nesters. And here I am at 44 starting this whole thing out. And so I wanted a safe place for it. And this is why you have Dear Mama. So this is your moment to reach out and say, hey, see me, I need help. So thank you for watching. We will see you again next Wednesday at the same time and same place. Wishing you all the best. And remember, Dear Mama, you got this. You absolutely rock. Until next time, bye-bye.
Bye.